He shouldn't. If he
Right.
mutes his
All
Discord,
right,
he shouldn't be able to hear
this
us.
is Chris with Chris and Rob Game Room. I'm about to play Reg Sims. He's probably about to beat up on me, like I owe him money. So Reg has an interesting concept. I talked about it this past week on our mini podcast type thing, I guess. He has a limitation on how much his cards are worth on the open market, and he's trying to play people that have no such limitation, and he's seeing how he does. And so far, he's done decent. He's in the middle. He's above me in the rankings. So
I've been in some matches, but I noticed the more you have, the more expensive your team is. I've noticed the worse I get beat. So,
well,
in the end of my whole thing would be, I think super rares do help. So
some super rares. It'd be funny if you had to play a team where it's just like you had to play the worst super rares. So
well, see, I only own one super rare. Like I'm doing a write up on mine. I own one super rare, and it's Spider Girl.
Sure to a page.
It's like the worst card ever. But I went around it. Like I said, if you don't have
God, I don't know how to work
super
this.
rare, I don't have that, but you have
Okay.
Boom Boom, and you can put it with Professor X to kind of get the same thing.
So have they done a roll off yet, Joe?
yeah.
With it both on there, Boom Boom and Jubilee. So.
Or just a Norman, honestly. Norman's just the best.
Mess with my audio.
All right. So you want to do the roll off? What do you want to do? 20
Yeah, I
sided
have
die?
them kind of low. I don't know if you can hear them coming through on mic.
I got a 15.
You got
I might have to mute the Hangouts portion of it.
I got a 13. So
Well, Chris won the roll off.
did you say you got
12.
a 15?
15. Yeah.
Oh.
You said dates, okay.
I trust you. All right. So I pick the teams first.
Can you hear me?
Oh, I guess he lost. I can hear you now.
Your teams.
I could hear you before.
Well, it's just I couldn't hear you. I guess your audio was turned down a little bit.
Oh.
Okay.
Are you good now?
We're good. It's just Chris is kind of loud, but it's his stream, so we can't change that.
Loud Chris.
All right,
Jeez.
I've been having some audio issues
my Yanti Boom Boom team.
Turning down Hangouts while turning up Discord.
And it's a super.
Yeah, me too. It's been weird.
All right.
Like I have the master volume, but it's always like does one single volume.
I'll go with
I guess I'm just not techy enough.
Start.
Okay.
All right, looks like Chris is going with his Yanti team.
The only time Robert has lost to me with his Fix-It team going hard is when we played at the WKO event.
What is he saying?
Yeah.
Is he talking schmack? Nah, I doubt it.
Get set up.
All right, so it's Yanti versus Yanti?
Fix It looks like.
Is it Fix It? Oh, yes, there's Mr. Fix It.
Wait, no, this is...
I can see him with my eyes.
1 second, Robert. I'm going to try to adjust the voice, or I'm going to try to adjust the audio here.
So that means Chris gets to pick who goes first.
Did I mix my stuff all up? Hold on.
I don't know if it's just me, but the way Chris handles his dice,
typical Chris,
it gets me anxious. I don't know what it is.
You guys are obviously two different sides of the same coin here. You're squirrel and baseball hat. I don't know. What's a good analogy for you two?
I don't know. I have a baseball hat in my little icon.
This one does go there. I'm an idiot.
I usually always wear a baseball hat.
Your
world's longest put things together.
That's what your whole thing is on your online personalities. You have that baseball hat.
Yeah.
You would think me having the most experience.
It's funny because I just stopped wearing a baseball hat recently, since I started cutting my own hair.
I'm the worst.
Oh, you cut your own hair. You're a very brave person. Okay, so getting down to the matchup. Looking at Reg's team, I like this Mr. Fix-It team a lot.
All right, so
seems like he's going for the big entrance variant of having Mr. Fix-It go straight to the bag and also cost cheaper by time dolling.
And I have
saving that energy for a big buy on early turns.
Malekith
And you got the one I have Agamotto.
Okay, so
Yeah, I have Agamotto and
He's
Great
yeah.
used
Food
the
and Water,
Hellfire
so.
Club to get through.
Oh, sorry, and I have Magic Missile.
Oh,
Didn't
this
you
is
try to
that
get
team.
strategy?
Okay.
So since I lost, I'll go first.
Okay. Good luck.
I
Kid.
think I've seen
Good
this
luck to you, sir.
team.
Let me.
Yeah, that Hellfire is awesome, dude.
Hold on.
Big entrance, magic missile.
Is this the one
All
with
right.
yeah, this is the one with Cosmic Cube for you.
Okay, that's
Sorry.
what's going on
I think
here.
I'm the only
Uh,
one with this cube in the
Go
tournament.
from the
Yeah.
web page to the app.
It's a good
and
cube.
Hopefully that helps.
It is.
All right, let me start
On
the timer.
Discord?
Starting it now.
Yeah.
All right.
Cube.
I figured out how to do volume control. Okay. So getting back into the match, Chris rolls. He's gonna keep a wild, 2 sidekicks, and I can't see what that is. A shield.
Yanti already. Oh, he's got the super rare, so he's
And
gonna start
to
doing
you,
damage
sir.
early.
Oh, I forgot to put it on my camera.
It's a very interesting approach because he just goes straight for it now instead of trying to set up any Eye of Agamotto shenanigans first,
Yeah.
like he's been doing previously.
Agamotto. Well, it's the first turn, so he can't buy it because it costs 4.
No, I mean, as in he uses the global ability with Power Bolt,
That's fine. I'll buy
and by KOing,
Crystal
so he
and
could have
Yanti.
right here. He
All
could
right.
have
Oh, you're
KO'd
right.
his sidekick
Over to you.
with Malekith's global, and
Let me switch it this time.
I believe there's a fixer on one of these two teams. Is there not a fixer? Maybe that's what's
don't
keeping him
think
back from doing that.
Yep, no fixers.
That's probably why he made the decision. I'm gathering.
Right.
He's got to do everything the hard way. They
Going
do
to
have
buy Shriek.
Create Food and Water Global as a way to sort of manage their bag.
Create Food and Water.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So what
that's
he's
he
going to do
can
here is
stay,
he's going to make sure that he has
All this goes into
all of
Put that in my
his
bag.
dice that he can draw and potentially field next turn.
Nice. Well, hopefully he draws a sidekick and can trash it. Oh, nope.
Right.
It's not a total
Pass
loss
turn.
because
No.
he's filtered out a sidekick that he has on the field. So
That's
Yeah,
true.
That's good.
that gives him
I'll do
potential to
Heimdall
draw
for
what he
2.
needs to.
Oh, I
Bye.
forgot about Heimdall.
Big entrance in the bag.
Good old
That's
Heimdall.
no
I
fair,
forget
sir.
about him
That's
too.
no fair.
And my
Okay,
Madam.
so this is actually interesting for
I
Reg
assume
because
back
he
to
has
me,
the
correct?
potential to
That's right, correct.
roll out the big entrance
I'm an idiot.
as
I'm
well
an
as
idiot.
that 2 extra energy and whatever he draws
That's why
from
I
the
hide it in the
bag.
corner over here. No, I'm just kidding.
But I think
I mean, that's
he
just
would,
solid
in this
gameplay.
case, he would only be able to afford. No, he would be able to afford the Mr. Fix-It and it goes straight to his bag.
Is Eye of Agamotto paid generic?
It's pay a generic, correct.
Okay, so he can do it here if you wanted to.
He could do the whole KO trick to get the Power Bolt into his bag. So let's see, he's got Yanti on a 0-2-1 side, its lowest side.
Mhm.
He feels that. Yeah, he's going to go ahead and get the ball rolling,
Yeah.
or at least we think he should.
Nope. Went boom boom.
Okay,
That's
interesting.
such a good global. I'm gonna
Food and
just
water.
use it myself.
Oh, I see. He went for the
Heimdall.
boom
Okay.
boom and went for the
And
Heimdall to kind of.
This is the one turn that I need that
help
always has to
filter
go through.
his,
I've won the bag
draws
on
again.
purpose. The big entrance.
Oh my god, you
Interesting.
got so many dice there.
And 1, 2, 3. Oh, I didn't get it though. All right.
What
So you
is
don't have
that
the fixer
action that
can
he's
turn
drawn there?
something
Big
down. Oh, you
entrance,
do.
right?
You have.
What's that?
No,
Don't
you
have
actually-
That was big entrance that he pulled.
That's the other team had.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right. It actually rolled
You
pretty
rolled
good.
it.
So there's 5.
So
One,
yeah,
two
he
for
can
5.
buy
Big
Mr. Fix-It
entrance
for 1 less, and it goes straight to his bag.
5. And
Wow.
I'll fix it. He goes in the
Yep.
bag.
I know
Very
Chris
good rolls.
doesn't like that. That was a fantastic roll.
It's pretty much that's the way it should roll.
So I wouldn't
but
say that Chris is behind
done
because
that
he
a lot.
can
And
field
then
that
Fix-It has to
Shriek,
roll now.
but Shriek is extremely vulnerable to
Yeah.
the magic missile that was the magic missile global that was brought with Reggie.
Mm-hmm. And not only that, once he gets that Hellfire Club out there,
Yes.
and
He can do
Chris
that as
has
well.
the way to make it cheaper on his team for him, so
So Chris's job right here is basically, or his lines of play would be to, oops, he forgot to roll those 2 extra. Rolls 2 sidekicks, a mask, a bolt, and a shield. Shriek is on her level 2 side, 0-2-2. So getting back to it, his line of play, he rerolls 2 wilds, would correctly be to set up a short, quick defense up against Mr. Fix-It, make Reggie use those bolts, any extra energy that he has, towards the Shriek instead of the Mr. Fix-It, and he still has a sidekick to block.
Naming your
Mhm.
Mr. Fix-It, of course.
So now Reggie's going to be able to use. See, here's the thing, though, is that Chris's 2 globals, and they were talking about this before the match, before we started streaming. is
Mhm.
that Chris's globals are going to wind up hurting Chris because Reggie can then use the same trick to get Malekith global to make the Hellfire Club cheaper and then send it straight to his bag with the Eye of Agamotto.
So
Exactly.
We have two left. One's a question mark. One's a mask. I believe that's a pseudo dragon.
I still like Chris's line of plays. They're pretty tight.
I don't like. I don't like
Even though
Yanti.
he's beating himself up for
Alright.
not taking advantage of the Heimdall before filtering his bag, which I don't really see that as too much of a big deal.
Well, shouldn't have Chris have pinged him for one because he bought a Powerbolt?
I didn't get
I
it.
don't know if he took the life down.
No
It's not
fix
showing on the
it.
stream.
That Hellfire.
Okay.
Once you do
Probably
that,
need to remind him.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. All right.
Hey, Chris, did you deal the damage to him?
Yeah, I got 19. I'm down to.
Oh, I didn't do this. I'm sorry. I'm trying to pay attention to the game, guys. Yeah.
Oh, the tune damage.
Yeah.
You did.
I didn't do it for the scoreboard thing that I have. So.
Oh, so I take one for that too. So I'm down 18.
No. You're down to 1. Or you're down to 19.
He only did 1 damage because he bought the Powerbolt.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's right. You didn't use it. That's right. Okay. Field Sidekick.
Okay, so
Field
here,
Crystal for 1.
Crystal, this is
I'm
actually
low.
pretty good for him. It gives him an additional chance to reroll
And
that
pass over you.
All right. 4 in the back.
Hellfire Club, but he didn't go for it. That's weird.
Well, Hellfire Club is a 5 cost, I think.
It's a 4.
It's a 4 cost. Okay, so it'd have been 2. He had to pay 1 to field though.
Okay. I thought he had enough. I keep on, I get so used to seeing energy fixers on either side of the table.
You've
Every
been
time I'm
watching me play
commentating
all
on a
the
match,
time.
I'm like, it's got to be there.
It's not my team.
All right.
Okay, so you got the Powerbolt.
Fielding boom.
Chris likes to ping out characters, so maybe he's gonna try to get rid of that crystal,
Man.
which is a 3/3, I believe.
Dealing 2, 3, 4, 5 to you.
Oh, doing the 5 damage.
To the face.
14.
So
Yeah,
I
it's a
think
lot of damage. So I'm
Chris
pretty
is
sure.
prioritizing Reggie's face over his
I'm
characters because Chris is confident that that Shriek will have to be dealt with
Raspberry.
before Mr. Fix-It can effectively swing in.
I didn't do it on camera again. I'm an idiot. All right.
What is he talking about? Not
I
doing it on
don't
camera.
know.
I have 2 in the bag.
We're at 18.
He could have divided up that damage however he wanted, right? He could have done 2 with the Powerbolt, 1 with the Shriek, and then 2 with the Boom Boom to Reg, right?
Looks
If
like
you wanted
Crystal's
to.
on our 3 side.
Yeah, that's why
Does come out
the
on
attune
very
damage
expensive side,
from
which I didn't want.
Yanti, and then the 2 from the Powerbolt to get rid of Crystal.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Oh, he rolled all the energy he needed. That's 4.
Right.
However, that's only to field.
Yeah,
Okay, I gotta do that.
I think he's good for a turn at
Field.
least. He doesn't have to worry about it right
Yeah,
now.
turn.
He's in a good spot.
Just watching my life die.
Well, I mean, you got the Yanti in there for protection.
All he needs now is that the Hellfire Club, and he's good to go.
Yep, and he can do that in 1 solid turn.
I
That's
want to
what
hassle
is talking
Chris about now drawing his dice on camera.
Yeah, well, the other thing too is that using that Heimdall.
I think I'm gonna reroll.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have a bunch of hashtags by the end of the tournament. It's gonna be hashtag Eminem, hashtag HXG, hashtag by the GDM.
Yeah.
I might not even get the swing with Fix It.
We're going to be trending.
So many things. This is a pretty explosive turn for Chris. If he does it right,
So I'm definitely fielding him.
let's see.
Definitely fielding.
I don't know. Reggie's at 15. He could buy a Powerbolt
Mm-hmm.
with Malekith global only, not even worrying about Eye of Agamotto.
Lightning Yanti.
I think that's what he's going to do.
My Yanti can't be.
He pinged out the Yanti?
Yeah, he tried to go after
I'm playing Powerball.
Reggie's uncommon Yanti, but that's the one that can be affected by global abilities or action dice.
So I'm doing
Gotcha.
2 damage to Yanti. Or
From
Yanti herself.
Oh, your Yanti. Okay.
Yeah.
And so he's using the pseudo dragon.
doing the
So
rest
I
of
don't
the
quite
fortune
agree with
base,
using
so
all of his
10.
resources towards
10, and you KO my
one of
Yanti, you said?
Reggie's characters
Sir.
because he's still going to need to
Can't be
swing
targeted though.
for lethal, and he can't get
I
past
thought she
that
couldn't be
Mr.
targeted by
Fix-It.
globals.
Yeah.
Or
Action dice. So it's the ability of Yanti you're using, right?
yeah.
Ping out the sidekick and buy a powerbolt, I think, is his best move, right?
KOing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Buying another power bolt. It's just going over here though.
And he
you are-
needs to
you're down
activate.
to
He's going to
Ping.
activate the
10.
attune ability, and then he's going to deal another 2.
All right,
He could
pass
potentially
turn.
close it out by KOing the sidekick, and then swing
4 in the
for
bag.
everything.
One's
I
a big
think.
entrance.
Let's see, two.
It really
No,
needs to roll here.
he'd be short.
So he's got him down to 10.
Oh, and you got Yanti
All right.
up.
Yeah, but Yanti comes, but I need the Hellfire.
Ben,
And
welcome to
that's-
the stream.
Try to re-roll her.
Always nice to have you.
Hello, Ben.
It's fine. Use big entrance. Spending 3 to buy a Hellfire.
So
goes in the
there
bag.
goes the
it
Hellfire
is.
Club.
Right.
So Chris is effectively on a
I have
1-turn,
2
possibly
bolts.
2-turn clock if
Mhm.
And I will bring
Reg
your...
doesn't roll it, and he's going to get multiple chances with
take out
that
your
crystal being
Yanti.
out, unless Chris decides to use
I will take
his
out my own
attune ability
sidekick.
to get rid of.
Actually, I'll hold it for now, if you don't mind.
I don't mind.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so he
still.
pinged out
4 in the bag.
his Yanti.
Switching camera.
He's hoping here that Chris won't either come up with the rolls, or Chris will have to spend too much on refielding.
Oh, he got it. He's got his sidekick that he can KO to make the purchase to do the 2
What's the
damage.
side on Mr. Fix-It right now.
He's
And
got a
the
mask for a
extra
Heimdall.
energy. Wow. So here's the deal. He could actually do all of those things. He could do Aya Bagamoto,
Man.
Malekith, and last Powerbolt, as well as HXG, and still field.
All his stuff with that fist, right?
Well, let's see.
Or the
1,
mask.
2. Yeah, he can still do it. Oh, no. He's 1 shy. Never mind.
Oh,
Because he rolled a sidekick. I don't know if he's re-rolled either.
I don't think he has. I don't.
Oh, no. What are you doing?
What? Oh, he
Come on,
wants it.
Chris.
He wanted it for free. He shouldn't have re-rolled it.
Yeah, he really should not have done that.
Why?
I think he would have been better off
Need 2
had he
bolts,
just
though.
re-rolled that 1 sidekick face to get that
He
extra
probably
energy.
wanted it to KO it. Wanted the Yanti for free.
They're probably yelling at me because I.
Yeah, we
Yanti
are
for
not
free.
yelling at you. We're just
If you
wondering.
Did your thing, I'd be able to.
It's he knows what he did.
Yeah.
He needs to be
You
put in the
know
corner
you
after this one.
did.
So
Bolts, it doesn't matter.
what Reggie can do by saving up this bolt is potentially KO
Going
the Yanti. That's why he left it up,
Heimdall.
to
Yeah.
KO the Yanti if it had been fielded on its level 2 or 1 side.
Oh, maybe that's why he re-rolled it, because he knew it was going to get KO'd. I don't think it mattered, though, because he'd have to pass priority first, and he could make his purchases still to and do his
Correct.
damage.
He would have dealt the damage, which would have been 2 damage.
Yeah.
And then he
2
would have been
better
able
than-
to, well, I don't know, even if he didn't.
And he lost his mask. He can't even Heimdall anymore.
Yep. Oh, no, he did Heimdall. He did Heimdall.
Oh, he did? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Chris is determining whether or not he wants to save that energy, those bolts, for any extra ping damage. But Mr. Fixit's on its highest face, which means it's going to be hard to get him down from 8.
Just going to buy the last one.
Remaining power bolts.
Okay. Does that
Does
not
he
trigger
not-
for the Yanti, though, when you purchase?
Has to be out.
She's knocked out.
Oh, that's right. Knocked her out. Shoot.
All right,
Here I am thinking you have it. All right.
pass turn.
Okay.
All right. So on my turn, I'm going to ping up my own sidekick.
Mr. Jourdain, it's always good to have you
I have
uh,
1 in the
watching
bag.
along with
There's
us.
the
Welcome
magic
to the
roll. It's
stream.
got to come, right?
Oh, are they comment? Are they
It's gonna be
chatting?
so
And I'm
quick.
Yeah,
not
they're
paying.
chatting it up.
Sidekicks
I'm
and
keeping an eye on that too.
I did that
Oh.
one
So,
time, and I didn't have
um,
the spin down.
This is
to
kind of
spend to a
Reggie's big
bolt.
moment
So
here.
3.
He could really,
Okay.
he could potentially win the game.
Come on,
If
Hellfire.
he gets 2 bolts,
for me.
if he rolls out
It
Hellfire
doesn't roll.
Club.
Well, there's everything else.
Oh. And then he
Oh
gets
my
an
God.
extra
I get it.
reroll, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Can I get it?
Play
Before it
to
comes down or
Yanti
else I'm
Jesus.
done. It rolls.
He got. He's.
Oh, that's
It
Did he
rolls.
roll?
Okay, so
It
that's
did.
game.
So
That's
it's going to be
game, man.
So
play
for anybody who
Hellfire
doesn't know,
first
Hellfire
attack
Club
step.
says KO.
KO and everything.
all
And actually, if it rolled on
characters
the,
that have,
the fist, I could
uh,
have used Crystal to re-roll it too.
mm,
If you have the highest
Oh,
attack in the
man.
field,
Yeah.
KO all their
Swing in
characters
and then-
basically.
Right, if
Yeah,
you
so
control the
everything's
character
KO'd,
die with the highest
and then he
attack,
swings
KO
forward,
all
he
the
can pump
character die.
4.
And then
And that would
he swings in with his Mr.
in the
Fix-It,
30.
pumps it twice. That gives him
God,
plus
that's
8 each
ridiculous.
time
All right.
for a total of 24.
There's
And
Hellfire.
he has essentially Chris has no blockers.
And you were
So.
worried you weren't going to be
Yeah.
fast
I
enough.
Wow.
I didn't think it'd be fast. I mean, once
So
I only need
what
one swing,
what I'm
but
amazed
I
at
for sure
here
thought you
is
were going to
Reggie's
get enough
commanding
damage out. Because
ability
every time I
of
played
his
Yanti,
own
I'm always
globals as
used
well
to
as his own
the one
actions,
cost cobalt
Mhm.
and it
traps and
really
everything
makes
to
it
ping me out.
makes that
So
sort of setup
This is more of a
shine.
control Yancey.
And
Yeah.
it helped that Reggie got all of his rolls. I mean,
I
the
need
man
something to
never
make
missed
Fix It,
one
though,
roll.
something
True.
quicker. But
So would Chris have been able to win with what he had in the field if he would have fielded
Other team
everything,
is just
done the 2 damage, and swung in? Would he have been able to swing in for 8?
it's more brutal, is what it is.
I don't
No.
think he would have.
No, he would not because Reggie
then
at that time had 3
roll and fix on the
characters he
3
was
side.
controlling.
He did have a
Yeah,
sidekick,
roll
right?
Versus Chris's
Giganta.
4.
All right, so you have Shriek. You have a blob on your team, right?
Didn't Reggie have magic missile? He could have pinged out that
Wondering if you
sidekick.
wanna
Yeah,
do that or
and
not.
so
But
that
he
was the
wouldn't
other
have been
thing
able to
too.
do the
Is like
damage.
even after everything was said and done, he still didn't have
Yeah,
enough
I'm
to
gonna
push
switch.
because he would have
Switch up.
blocked his biggest characters.
Yeah.
Granted, you only have one villain on that.
Well, that would have been 32, right?
30.
I think
It would have been 40 because he had 3 bolts and a wild.
probably not.
Yeah.
Man.
Jeez.
So I'm out of top 8 already. So you ended my
Overkill.
dreams.
My goal is to win 1 game the whole tournament, and that was all I wanted.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, surprising.
That's that.
I want to see Hellfire on 1 WKO team. That's it.
that was a really good game. Chris,
Yep.
I think you're putting a little bit too much pressure on yourself there.
Yeah, I was sweating on that.
No, I mean,
Yeah, I
they had
don't
to do something
think once he
specifically,
got that
and there's nothing I could do. I didn't have. If I had,
there
Blob, I
really
would
wasn't
Blob.
anything he can do. I mean, the
Yeah.
rules were there.
Blob. And I don't have Scarlet Witch, so
Yep.
Scarlet Witch
He's
is one of
right.
the cards I
He
don't
didn't
like
have a way to
seeing,
stop that
but
thing.
You had Devil
He
Mask that
didn't.
I
His
thought would
best
just
option
kill
would
me.
have been to race.
you didn't even get enough things out in the field for it to matter.
You were doing a pretty good job racing there, Chris. It's just when you decided to re-roll that Yanti, it kind of put you a little bit further behind. I mean, had you fielded the Yanti, just re-rolled that sidekick that was on its face and an energy had come up, you would have been able to effectively do the whole combo and do him an extra 2 damage on top of maybe swinging in with everything, and then giving you a re-roll. But he had already had the Hellfire purchase that turn, so.
I think if I had focused on knocking out Fix It, I think I would have been farther ahead.
Well, I know I wanted to buy with I forgot the Eye of Agamotto you had. I could have bought the Hellfire the turn before,
Yeah.
but I forgot to. And then you took out my Yanti because that's where I need her in the field when Hellfire triggers to trigger the attune. That would do 1 ping to my Hulk or to my Fix It.
Yeah, I knew you were trying to do that. Sneakiness. Oh man, I'm
All right,
not.
I'm gonna switch these out.
So you really don't have any win fielded.
All right. So Chris is changing teams.
Man, that Hellfire combo is really nice.
He really wants to play that other team.
I said I want. That's what
Hopefully he doesn't
I need
misplay
something
it
to
this
work with
time.
to get it.
Hopefully he figured it out.
Somehow quicker. There's something missing because I don't need Madam Mask on it. I don't think.
So, this is okay. This
Because
is
you
the
bring
whole
out a
team.
team like Gabi, I think
Yeah.
I can get him out quick enough because I know how to get the Fix It out. Usually by turn
Okay,
3
so
or 4,
here's
he's out there.
again.
Yeah.
It's hashtag
But I mean, I had to roll
M&Ms.
everything right.
All right, that's what he needs to do.
Sorry, I'm taking so long.
I think he's better at it than me, for sure.
I'm really just licking my wounds from that last match.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if that M&M is going to be effective against
Yeah, I think if I would've
Reggie's
just
team because
picked
Reggie's
out
team
your
is
guy,
sidekicks
your
with
Hulk.
Yeah, I think
Red
you were.
Hood.
I think when people
and
see
Dum
Fix
Dum
It out, you
Dugan.
were thinking too much. I
Yeah,
think you
his
just
only
had to-
2
you
win
just had to keep
fielders are going to
swinging.
be Shriek and
You'd have
Mimic.
been fine.
So
Alright,
it's
since
not
I lost,
it's not too effective in this matchup even.
who's more pretty?
I think
Mm-mm.
his main goal is to
I
blob.
have Misdirection,
Well, no, because even
Resurrection,
misdirection
and
gets
my only
around
globals are Professor
blob.
X.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
and
no! It
Baxby.
says you can't
and-
buy it. So he can't effectively
Mine are
shut down
unstable
one
canister,
part
basically magic
of his
missile,
combo by blobbing either
Hulk,
the Dum Dum or Red Hood.
pay a fist, do some stuff,
Yeah.
and Yarnborn.
And there's
Man.
also the matter of
And that's it.
Spider-Man.
Turns into a fist, right?
Yeah.
Which would have been good for.
And Spider-Man is you have to block all sidekicks before you block Spider-Man. Is that the
Mhm.
one?
All
So
your
I'll go
sidekicks have
first.
to be blocked before
good luck to you.
Spider-Man can be
Good luck to you.
blocked, or any other character for that matter.
Hopefully Hopefully, I don't
Gotcha.
get demolished in 15 minutes.
I love how
Nice.
brave Reggie is by not using any fixers for either of his
Starting
teams.
timer now.
Yep. Well, the way he's rolling, he doesn't really need it.
Oh yeah, I'm so jealous of those rolls. If he's watching this on the replay, my ire against how fortunate he is with his rolls is just building.
Turn.
Yeah, Ben, I think I'm going to be running that from now on. That is a really cool combo. All right. So what did I miss? What did Chris
Ben,
buy?
I honestly think he's struggling with the sidekick team because he doesn't have the mask fixer, which is a key element to his whole
Resurrect.
game.
All right.
Having that fixer there just makes things a little bit easier to trigger off of, and you don't have to worry about conserving a certain amount. Ben's apparently got the secret tech up against Reggie. They must have been labbing it up hardcore. Boys in the lab. Okay, Chris goes.
Chris went investigation, and
This is kind of rough because those masks really don't do anything for him. He does have an energy fixer.
he has, what is Molnir's? Is that the energy fixing Molnir?
That's the energy fixer.
Immediately right here.
So he has the shield to buy the spot. He can save those two masks. So if he plays it right, here's what he can do. He can spin down and then purchase a spot, and then but he goes straight for the blob. So what I was thinking was originally he could purchase the
Feel the
spot,
sidekick on his turn. Feel the
then
sidekick
pull a
on his.
sidekick out on his turn, and then wait on Reggie's turn, pull another sidekick out, giving him 2 less to draw out of that whole mess. Now he's got to draw it and hope to run into either investigate or blob.
Yeah. And there is a Tabaxi Rogue, so he's gonna take 2 from that if he gets that investigation, right?
Yes, he will. And it's on a pretty decent side, and I don't know that anybody has, well, there's canister. So he would, again, have to be expending resources to get rid of the Tabaxi Rogue, which is not a good, that's not a favorable spot you want to be in.
And that's a discussion I was having with Chris earlier about having Magic Missile or Unstable Canister on my Fix-It team, was that, people have to, they can ping my Mimic ramp out. And I'm like, yeah, but at the same time, they're wasting their energy to do that.
So something you have to consider, and something that Shadow talks about a lot, Shadow Meld, is that when you're having to spend most or all of your resources to control ramp options, you're doing it wrong. Yeah. Because by the time you're to that point to where you need to control their ramp options, the damage has already been done as far as advantage. Your opponent is already clearly ahead of you.
Wow, he pulled his blob and investigation.
Of course.
Neither one of them looked like they rolled though.
Well, in this spot, he wants to leave the investigation on its energy side, and he wants to re-roll the blob and the sidekick. I would leave the fist, to be honest with you.
He wants it. Nope, he didn't get either one of them.
This is kind of rough.
That's so terrible.
Well, he can buy a spot now.
He can, but it's a little too late. I mean, really, at this point in time, he is now further away. He's at a very large disadvantage.
Investigating, taking 2 damage.
Oh, he did draw that. He did play the investigate.
Yeah.
So he's gonna take 2.
So that's 2 damage. Chris, don't forget you took 2 damage for playing that.
I got it. I got to play.
Oh, he knows.
All right.
He felt the burn.
I know. He's feeling it all right.
I've made so many mistakes since I need commentators all the time.
What does he have? A shield, a fist?
I heard that, Reggie.
Yeah, no, I did. Because that first match I messed up when I attacked.
I can't make out that last energy that he has. It's a shield, a fist, and
it's a
another
shield
fist?
and 2 fists, and then he has a
It was a beneficial thing. I would like commentators.
3 for a Navi.
All right, going Norman.
Pass turn.
Doing some ping damage early.
I think the strategy Chris is going for here, which is admirable because his rolls aren't coming up, he's going to go ahead and just he's gonna forego bag management in favor
Mhm.
of trying to just maximize the amount of dice he gets each draw
Mhm.
that are non-sidekicks.
Makes sense.
Oh, of course your nose is bleeding, daughter. Okay, hang on just a second. I gotta take care of this.
All right.
Take a shriek.
All right.
3.
Buying a shriek
Now resurrect.
and resurrecting.
What's in the bag?
What's coming out the bag?
4 in the bag.
Can't make that out.
I'm so bad on my bag right now.
All right, Chris, what you got?
Okay.
It's like a lot of sidekicks. Man, I am losing my connection to this thing. All right, what would you go here? Did it freeze? Is nobody moving? There he goes.
3.
Okay, back
Another
in. Okay,
investigation.
sorry about that, folks.
Then I'm going to res.
So you'll take 1.
I take 1 just for resing?
You're prepping a die.
Yes, yes, you do.
I thought it was draw and roll.
It's any that you take outside of your, or it's any that you draw outside of your draw and clear step, or clear and draw step.
It's whenever your opponent draws a die.
All right. God. All right. Pass turn.
Okay. I think the bag's got 4 in it.
All right.
Okay.
So is that a shriek I see?
Nothing rolls.
You could just ping off that Tabaxi Rogue.
That's right. All right. He's going to roll high for me, I bet.
Okay, Reg is going for, oh wow, so he's going for the Boom Boom here.
Let's roll those 2.
It's interesting that he has a Yanti on one team and a Boom Boom on the other. I guess he's trying to spread out the amount of non-combat damage he can do to kind of either do board clear or
She's on her 1-3-3.
to, you know, hit the opponent's face and bring him down a little bit further.
And he's using the common one, I think, that does, or is this the uncommon one that whenever you use a global ability,
Shriek.
the first time you
I'll
deal 1
name
damage.
your
So it's not a massive
doggy.
amount of damage.
All right.
You are correct. So,
I guess it's just like, well, I'm going to resurrect, so you're going to take 1 because I'm resurrecting.
mm-hmm.
I'm going to spin this down to a fist.
This is a really, I mean, I like the setup.
Psychic.
I do. I just feel like he's missing
And for
an
4,
energy
or
fixer,
for 2,
and that's really
gonna
what's,
buy
you know,
2
setting him back.
misdirections.
I guess
All right.
the energy fixer
turn.
would be Billy Club over Shriek, so that he could still
Mhm.
have that single targeted removal.
Yeah. I honestly, I don't know why Chris ran with this team against that sidekick team, because I
Yeah,
feel like
because
he had
we
his
saw
green
the
devil
first-
mask.
Yeah, we saw the first game. He was a lot faster at getting the damage out. I mean, he had him down to 10 by turn 7. So
Mhm.
it's not like he wouldn't have been winning this same
Close
race.
blood one.
He's 1-8.
He's big.
He has enough energy here to field both of them, which is pretty good. Oh, but he goes for the reroll, of course.
He wants the investigation. He can get more energy out.
And Chris just really loves taking damage from a Tabashi Rogue. Can't stay
Oh,
away
and
from
he's
it.
going to take a lot of damage here. He's going to take 4 damage to do that.
Chris is doing is accelerating Reggie's game plan, because I like how Reggie operates Sans super rare Jubilee here by getting in chip damage early.
Yeah.
You can do that all
And
night.
then finishing it off with, you know, a Dum Dum Dugan or a Red Hood that's been misdirected after blockers have been declared.
Mm-hmm. Well, he got his Norman there. And another investigation. I don't think he played the investigation. He's taking a lot of damage. I think he's down to
If he-
13.
Mm. Mm-mm-mm.
So I've only got 3 in the bag, so going to pay 2 to field. Him.
And he has no way to actually get rid of anybody's characters once they're on the board, aside from the unstable canister.
Yeah.
So It doesn't sound like he's named his blob target yet. He's
Just trying to
thinking.
figure that out.
So while he's thinking,
He wants to misdirect him.
we can talk about what kind of a crappy situation he's in and how to best get out of it.
He has 1, 2, 3, 4. He'll do
I'm gonna
4
need
damage
side
with
kick.
that Norman
I'm
if he
playing
decides
this,
to
I
field
can
it.
have 3, so I land
Yeah,
on my field and move
because
myself.
Shriek is out.
He took 3 more damage. He just
3 more
hurting
damage.
himself. He took 7 damage this turn just by drawing dice.
I think he's trying to get into a good range for another Norman, but he didn't roll a fist like he needed to.
We can spin down that sidekick.
This game is over already.
Oh, that's true.
And he can field that Norman, do his 4 damage, and buy another Norman by spinning that sidekick down.
I think that's his goal ultimately, but he's going to want to resurrect
have not
here
gotten
in order
any-
to get that into his bag. But then he's going to take another damage. So
Or
effectively
any
dealing
lagging at all.
8 damage to himself.
Well, he wouldn't take a damage for resurrection because it's if you roll it.
Fielding, he does nothing.
No. So the deal with Tabashi Rogue is its wording
I'm going
says
to buy an
any
unstable
time an opponent draws, or whenever an opponent draws a die outside of his clear and draw
It's another-
step, it deals 1 damage to him.
I think it says when you draw and roll it, though.
No, it says draw. It just says draw. That card's my namesake, so I'm very familiar with the text.
All right.
Yeah. While Tabashi Rogue is active, when an opponent draws a die other than during their clear and draw step, Tabashi Rogue deals them 1 damage.
Wow.
So it is really good up against the meta right now because people are using Mimic Ramp, they're using Resurrection Ramp, they're even using Create Food and Water Ramp, which still
Yeah.
gets you hit by Tabashi Rogue because you're drawing that die.
And that's ridiculous, too, because if you're food and watering with all those sidekicks in your bag,
17 minutes, by the way.
man, you can take a ton of damage,
Everybody
just
been
like
done?
Chris did this turn.
Yep. And then also as well,
Resurrect.
don't forget Insect Plague. So if a person decides to use Insect Plague,
That's right.
Insect Plague's wording is
And pests.
yeah, I think it's draw.
Score it properly.
Let me make
You're
sure.
at 10, right?
Yeah, I'm at 10. Alright. Putting all this in there.
All right. Is it back to Chris yet? Yep. Shaking it up.
Okay,
Well,
this is a crucial moment here.
Reg flipped the tables on Chris when the score was 20-10. Let's see if Chris can do the same here.
That's true. I don't think that Chris has the potential to do a 1-turn swing, though.
I don't think so either, but. And what is that? Okay, so he did buy an unstable canister. He got. That's 2. And then he has a bolt there. He could take something out.
He could do that. Hang on
did
just a
he
second.
blank Norman with that shriek? Is that why Reg didn't take any damage last turn?
2 to Tabaxi Rogue.
I'm sorry, what was that, Robert?
Did Chris? I'm sorry. Did Reg shriek his Norman, and that's why he didn't take any damage because he should have taken 4 last turn.
I think so. I might need to ask him.
What you got?
Reggie, what's currently shrieked right now?
I shrieked the Nabi.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what we were thinking.
Makes sense.
Yeah, the reason I had to do that is because I got 2 investigations coming out next turn. So.
Okay, so I'm going to.
Okay, so again, Chris is still on the back foot. He's going to be on the back foot
That's
even
only
with
5
this
damage,
large
yeah.
swing.
What's
Mhm.
your Nabi's defense there?
1.
1. So I'll block.
I don't know if Reggie
let 2
realizes he
psychics
has
through,
that mask
and
in the
I'll block
reserve pool because he
Navi
needs to
Okay.
with psychic
bring
to
up the
kill it.
sidekick.
Shriek comes back.
Alright, so how many sidekicks go through?
2.
2.
So I'll take 2.
So did he chump block Norman?
But
Oh,
before you
Norman got
attack, I'm
KO'd
gonna
anyway.
do, I was actually
Oh,
gonna.
yeah,
do
he
this.
attacked with
Damage
Norman.
has been done finally.
It would block,
So
but it's fine.
Blob
Just leave it.
is
I mean, it probably
on
works out
Spider-Man
better
right
for
now.
you anyways. So
Matt.
Yeah,
faster.
it's fine. So shake it up. You're past turn, right?
Yeah, pass it.
Spider-Man War of the Heart. Very good card.
Three.
You know what? To be honest with you, I thought that guy was going to be an all-star coming into it, but really, what's been the real all-star here is Insect Play Global into Misdirection. I think that's slowly becoming my favorite
I have one
play
in my
for
bag.
sidekick
Boom, boom.
teams
Yeah, that's a really cool combo.
Man.
because you can Misdirection
Alright,
in Mr.
you've
Fix-It.
done
You
my
can
spider
Misdirection
maps.
in a Dum Dum Dugan. You can Misdirection in anything
Those
really.
two.
But the fact that you just make it you make a character unblockable before doing that is just insane, or a
Yeah.
sidekick at least.
Yeah.
Well, not super huge.
What is that? Is that too generic down there?
Yes, it is. So
Okay.
Reggie is re-rolling the two.
Okay.
He's got 2 misdirections, and he can also prep a die from that double burst side.
Nice.
So he has the potential to buy something big this turn with that wild.
And Chris does have an energy fixer here, so you can spin that sidekick down to a fist.
For 3. I'm gonna buy a mimic.
All right.
What is that he just
I
bought?
don't
Dum
know.
Dum
Something.
and
Take it back. I'm buying a red hood.
oh,
All right.
I totally forgot. I can't
Red hood.
misdirect him in, or else I couldn't. I had to swap
Wow.
him
So
in.
he doesn't have an insect plague to follow to make it
Okay.
unblockable,
So
but he
then
does
for
have
2.
1 character that can get through. I think he's trying to determine whether or not he wants to go ahead and field a sidekick now and then make it to where he can
For
put
Fencer
both of them
Explode.
in.
Feel another sidekick.
All right.
Field another sidekick. And I'll use misdirection once. Take this one out to bring Dum Dum in
All right.
on his 2/2 side.
And he's going to misdirection the red hood in and effectively get the pluses for
And I'll use this
blockers.
misdirection.
He has to draw and
Take the
prep a
sidekick
die
out.
here, so he has to be really
Can I ask
careful.
one thing?
Yep.
Why wouldn't you insect plague to bring Dum Dum in unblockable?
I don't have insect plague.
Oh,
I
thank
wish I could sub that
Jesus.
card in, but
That
We
would've
should
been
just start
okay.
calling him
Thank
Sherlock
goodness you don't
Holmes.
have that.
now with this
He's putting
misdirection, I
some
get to
real
draw a
stuff
die from my
together
bag.
here.
All right. And it's boom boom.
So there's boom boom.
okay, so he
And
doesn't even have the
I'll
insect
pass.
play combo going on here.
Yeah, he's just going for raw advantage here.
Actually, I
Yeah.
might attack with.
He should have attacked and then used the
hold
misdirection,
turn.
as he's just now
Pass turn.
realizing.
Yep.
Because he would have been, free to move around those 2 blockers.
Well, Chris got his ramp back, so that's good.
Yeah, so Chris does have a potential to turn the game around here.
He's got a little bit of a hill to climb, though. Well, that helps.
He's got to find a way to get rid of that shriek first.
Oh, Shriek's still out in the field, huh? Man.
Just does not want to come out and play.
It's not too bad, I guess. He's going to get one of those investigations going.
Do I want to buy anything?
Hopefully get some bolts.
Further.
Well, he doesn't have to worry about the threat of taking damage.
Yeah.
So here, oh man, I don't know what a good buy is either because he's got his Normans knocked down or locked down.
Maybe reach
Doesn't
for that
have
Hulk?
anything for the Madam Mask,
Nope.
which doesn't really do much, but in this case, every little bit helps. He's gonna
he-
go for the Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
Doing the thing.
He has nothing in his bag.
Well, I've got one in my bag.
Oh, he's got one in the bag. Miscalculation.
So I'm drawing 4
So
ones
it's
already
still
out.
not good for him here unless he manages to roll out enough bolts. I think that's why he bought the Scarlet Witch.
You gotta
Because he's
skip
trying to
it.
roll out enough bolts to get rid of the Shriek, to field the Nobby, push that damage.
Yeah.
You
Oh, he got
have to be
one
kidding
question
me.
mark. That's not enough. It's not going
You
to do
took
it.
4 for that, right?
But he
No,
does
you
have a
don't have the vaccine.
5-3
Oh, it's
Shriek
vaccine out
or
there. Shoot,
switch.
I totally.
Yeah.
That would have
So
helped me
that's
so
good.
much. I should look at my own board, not your screen.
I guess you just buy more Normans, I guess, at this point, and just hope you
You're kidding me.
buy another Norman and hope you roll some bolts next turn.
Well, what he needs to do is just field as many characters as he can so that he can effectively block. Since Reggie didn't bring the Insect Plague Global on his team,
Yeah.
he
needs some
can just
defense.
wall up here and force Reggie to manually go through.
Man.
Ping 1 to field 1 does nothing.
Does he have anything in his field that he can ping
Pass
out? I mean,
priority.
I don't think he would want to ping out a sidekick anyway.
Professor X Global.
All right.
I mean, he
How
needs to
come he didn't
resurrect
resurrect?
here.
Oh, okay. I thought he ended his turn.
Attacking.
What he really should have done was resurrected first,
Attacking with Nabi. And a
given him
sidekick.
some more
Oh,
bag
and
management.
can I resurrect
Because right now he's got
before,
1,
that
2,
closes turn?
3,
He still can.
4, 5, 6. He's got 2 sidekicks and 2 actions in the
Attacking
bag.
with those two?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there he goes.
So I'll
Yeah.
block. Shriek will block one of the sidekicks.
I don't think you should have
And
attacked.
I don't either. I think you should have kept the Norman.
He just wants it to get KO'd, I guess, so he can keep trying to refill it.
Shriek is
Yeah,
taking
but
the
he's
sidekick,
reducing the
and I'm
amount of
chump blocking your
blockers.
Nabi.
Yeah, I don't like that.
All right.
Especially since Reg is now he's now able to roll the boom boom.
Yeah, and he just took the damage there, huh?
Check it up.
Or what happened? How come Norman's back? Does he have Kate Bishop that I'm not seeing here?
No. Oh, because the sidekick blocked Norman Osborn.
Gotcha. It would help if I switch my screen so I can know what's going on.
That's fine. He rolls.
I mean, he's got something going on here. Reg
One.
does, but not a lot.
Field boom boom.
Yeah.
He could buy here, and I think the buy would be, if I was in his shoes, the buy would be another Red Hood.
Yeah.
I would go for a Red Hood and then Resurrection.
For 2.
Or
I'll buy a dum dum.
okay.
Oh, he's going for the Dum Dum.
Yeah,
Okay.
Dum Dum, because you can resurrect on this turn and ping for 1, and then you can fill the sidekick. Does he have a Professor X and then ping for 1 on Chris's turn, right? Because it's once per turn.
Boom boom's active.
With
First
that
time
boom
his
boom?
Global abilities
Yep.
turn.
Oh,
That's exactly it.
That's gross. You're that one. All right.
Yeah. That's the one.
You're that one. I'm just trying to win through mind
and I
games now.
Right. Oh, you're that guy. Okay.
Pass turn.
Pass priority.
You're bringing that
Oh,
boom
sorry.
boom.
These
All right.
two.
It's gonna throw Reggie off of his game
Bring
now.
back.
He's not gonna be able to concentrate.
I mean, at this point, Reggie, all he has to do is just sit back and ping away.
Roll the characters.
Yeah.
And it weren't going to happen.
Don't forget the 2 in your prep.
You are correct, sir.
My goodness, man. This guy.
It's his dice tower setup throwing him off.
You know
It's
what?
so
I'll be
weird.
honest with you. All joking aside, whenever I first ran the dice tower, it was hard for me to keep a track of what all was in front of me. Like,
All right.
you can have
Yeah.
several people. There was multiple games where
What
I
is
would
Red
realize
Hood's,
that
defense?
there was a die
2-2.
outside the dice tower, and then I'd be like, "Oh, I haven't rolled that," or they'd have to remind me, "Oh, by the way, you need to
Those are
roll
canisters.
this."
Okay.
Yeah.
So the canisters are good for that shriek. However, doesn't have a normie he doesn't have a Nabi to take advantage of shriek being gone.
Yeah. I
This is
guess
also
you-
interesting. He doesn't go for the reroll on the canister,
Fist.
which can effectively get rid of.
He's going for the Hulk, I think.
Okay, I can see that. And he's trying to make sure that he has enough to resurrect as well, which will also get him closer to rolling that Hulk.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I guess you just ping for the 2 damage at the. What is he doing? That's only 3. Another
He's going
Norman.
to try to either build up a sidekick wall, or he's going to try to go for ping out. If Reggie decides to attack with his Dum Dum or his Red Hood, because the thing about both of those characters is they only get +1/+0. They don't get +1/+1.
No defense. Okay.
Bolting your Red Hood.
Pinging the Red Hood.
See, if I was him, I would have gone straight for the Shriek.
Yeah.
Oh, Shriek is
well,
on her
he-
1/3/3 side, so she's on her
it's so
highest
hard
level.
to get her out. I think he's waiting to ping her out on Reggie's turn. That he doesn't have to worry about her on his turn.
Pass turn. Okay. So on my turn, I'm gonna field the psychic.
He can still resurrect though,
Uh,
and hold on to
so
3 bolts.
when I do that, you take another one.
I
Sorry,
feel like-
Matt. We're trying to paint you guys the prettiest picture because Chris is falling behind. I guess
That's
he's
my
just too
insect flag on my
concerned
team.
about losing.
All right. So I think I have 4 in the bag.
I would be too.
1, 2,
So
3.
Chris is going to stay on his bolt and 3 wilds for a chance to
Alright.
potentially knock out the attackers. But here's the deal: Reg is rolling 6
roll. I
dice,
have to reroll
and
that.
of the 6, he's
I
got 2
can't roll.
misdirections, which means that anything
Those are
that
fine.
gets through can now be swapped out
Okay,
for
those 3.
greater advantage. And on top of that, he's got the Tabashi Rogue.
Okay.
Well, he had
this
the
is coming
potential of
up.
rolling the Tabashi Rogue.
5.
Does that cost
All
2 to
right,
field?
Yep, it costs 2 to field. So the
Can't
Red Hood is on his
misdirection me,
highest
man.
face.
That's not too bad.
Spider-Man.
So he's
got
got
that
2
dum-dum.
generic,
Okay, so
a
pay the
mask,
2,
2 wild, and
field,
2
Red Hood now.
generic.
He
And
got
that means
lucky
that he can
there.
pretty much purchase anything in this situation, and he would still be ahead of Chris.
Keep
He
that,
doesn't need to
keep
swing
that.
though,
Where it turns
because
so
Chris
I think
has
your turn 0.
4 characters still capable,
Okay.
plenty
Mhm.
capable of
The
defending
whole
against
global again is
Reg's 6.
+1, right? for
Yeah,
fist?
we're going to
Yeah.
turns now, so this is turn 0.
So now Chris is even further behind.
fist.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, because he's
Okay,
got
good.
he's got to he's got to last 4 more turns, and he's
Sorry.
got to manage to either get himself down to or get Reggie down to
Okay, one to
8
field the
or
sidekick.
lower
All right,
within
global.
those next
I
4
took the 1.
turns.
So down to 7.
So I'm sensing a resurrection ping and a field of sidekick ping.
Oh no, it's only once per turn, so you can
Well,
only
yeah,
do it the
yeah.
first time he activates.
For the
it.
next
Oh,
turn.
you're talking about it on the next turn?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Same play as last time. Thank you, Matt.
Okay. For 3.
I tried to get to my mute button, but I couldn't get there in time.
He can also so here's an interesting route that he can take. He can Tabashi Rogue Global,
Buy another.
dealing him the 1 extra damage, and then
Buy another
get him
Tabaxi.
down to 6 and potentially swing in, and whatever gets through will be able to
That's priority 2.
effectively KO him.
Pinging off your
He doesn't have Tabaxi Rogue in the field, though.
Oh, okay. That was my fault.
And a sidekick.
You'll have to pardon me. on that
No
one.
problem. Well, what happened there? Oh, he pinged out
Okay.
4.
And I'm going to
There it goes. That's where all those bolts were for.
attack.
It's not hurting Reg entirely, but it is setting
So
Chris
he'll
up
be
for
a
a good
4-2.
swing on his next turn.
I
But
attack
then
one of
if
these,
Reg
he
has the
becomes
possibility of
a-
surviving,
This might be the wrong choice. He's a
then that's
8-5.
game.
My Red Hood.
So Dum Dum's +2 and Red Hood is +3
Okay.
or +2.
So
Red Hood is +3 because it's for each
Dum Dum
attacking
Dugan's a
character. die.
4-2.
Gotcha. And he counts himself too.
He's
Okay.
Red Hood.
No, each other. I'm sorry.
Black and red
So
Hood.
it is
Okay.
+3.
Yeah, the others 2.
They're just 2, right?
Yeah, they're just 2.
Yeah.
He's taking the 2 sidekicks.
I could block. I should just block, right? No, I already done
First.
it. I've already done it. So,
Oh, no, it's okay. You can block. I don't mind.
all right, yeah, I'll just block and then stay at
Block
7.
'em up.
Yeah, Chris has 0 benefit from going down to 5.
Yeah.
So he does determine to block the rest of the sidekick, giving Reg the effective edge here that he's going to need for his
So this
next
is like
turn.
turn
You
what
would
now?
Yeah, and Chris should have
Assuming-
some investigations coming up here, so he should
Yeah.
be rolling everything.
The one time, come
Okay.
on, you
Well,
stupid.
that's not good.
So now Chris is starting to step into yours and
come.
our
Got it.
realm, Robert, with the
Bad
bad
rules.
Come this turn, this exact turn.
the Rob rolls.
The Rob rolls in full effect.
He doesn't.
Oh, yep.
bit.
He's feeling this thing now. So
Okay.
he has a blessing. He has another knobby that he can potentially buy and
wow,
field
wow.
by rolling 8 dice. Drawing and rolling.
True. Definitely would take advantage of a purchase here. He's going to roll 8 dice. So-
Boom Boom's defense.
2-2.
I would really go for a knobby
All right,
in
I'm
this
gonna knock
situation.
out Boom Boom.
Boom, boom,
Well, he's just gonna go for raw attacks here.
Investigation, drawing 4.
What did he do there? What were those
He
2 bolts for?
knocked
He
out
pinged
Boom
something?
Boom, which in my
God, that
opinion
couldn't have gone worse.
he should have purchased first and then used
Gabby.
his investigation.
He just didn't want to take that ping, is what I'm thinking. He's just trying to save some life here. Did he get it? That looks like 2 fists for me.
And I think just going to be.
Yeah, I think he should have bought the Norman. Maximize his ping damage.
Mm-hmm. He really should have.
What is your board? So he's still a 5, right?
So interestingly enough, he can
still buy one right now, can he?
He can still buy one and still have enough left over to field even the highest level Nabi.
Playing investigation.
Oh, he's playing it. Buy something. Maybe he only has 4 in the bag, and that's why it doesn't even matter if he buys something. I don't think he does it.
Oh,
he did.
That's a.
I really needed that to come up.
Was that an investigation? Oh no,
No, it was he. So those are 2 canisters that he has left over. So right now, all he has is all energy and 1 sidekick. Either of his actions didn't roll. Neither of his actions rolled, and so let's see. Yeah, Chris hasn't changed his screen yet. Sorry about that, guys. Basically, where he's at right now is he's got a whole bunch of energy, and he's got 1 sidekick, and he can't really do much because he's only got 3 characters up against Reg's 2 that are still more than capable
of blocking. Is this
blocking.
turn 2 or is it? Because I said 1 was me, then you went to
3. I guess it's too late to buy that Hulk, huh?
Right?
No, he can still potentially buy it and then resurrect it to his prep area and have it next turn and save those 2 wilds that he has left over to get rid of a Dum-Dum Dugan that's attacking.
Yeah.
I think
that's probably the best thing to do here.
Right now, if I could have gotten both those Nobbies to come up.
2, 4, 6. Field the sidekick. Hold on to that mask. Field the sidekick on Reg's turn, and he'll have 5 blockers. And you resurrect and get that Hulk out.
Yep.
What?
He could do that.
Why does he do that? Oh, Chris, what are you doing? What is going on in your
Chris used Yarnbjorn's ability to spin down the sidekick, effectively negating any advice that we might have given him. Something I like to call commentator's curse. It exists in other games. You start to talk about someone in a positive light, and they immediately punt the next play.
Resurrect.
So he's going for the resurrection. That gives him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I honestly don't know what he's going to do here because that 9 minus 2 gives him 7 energy. I think what he's going to try to do is go for a swing.
Spots on his
2, 3.
Whoever gets through, he's going to try to Hulk global and power them up.
5, 3.
Gotcha.
But in order to do so, he needed to swing with all 3 of them. But then his blob wouldn't have been. He would have. Reggie would have gotten let the blob through.
With Dum-Dum and block.
So Dum-Dum's blocking the Scarlet Witch.
Actually, go the way around. This will be Scarlet knocking her out because she's a.
Yeah, so Red Hood's blocking the Scarlet, knocking her out, and Dum-Dum is blocking the
spot. You can
spot, knocking him out.
Yeah.
And
back to you, sir.
Yeah.
Reg is going to add a sidekick. I guess Chris is just sealing the deal.
And then you could have pushed in with.
I guess so.
What's in Chris's field now is a spot, a Scarlet Witch, and a blob. And they are all at their highest level.
Oh, so once block always.
And so he's attacking with a spot and a Scarlet Witch here. And of course, Reggie blocks with his highest level Red Hood and a Dum-Dum Dugan on his 0-2-2 side.
Okay. And he's a 5-5, right?
5-5.
I just really don't see any way out of this for Chris at the moment.
I don't think so either. Does he have enough attack? He has enough attack to. Sorry, he has enough attack to KO.
Robert, what'd you say?
Sorry, guys, I clicked the wrong button.
You're an idiot.
I think you can ping out the Dum-Dum, but
also don't forget to switch cameras.
Yeah, I know. Switch. See what he has on the board.
To KO Reggie's side, just he has something. He has to reroll all his characters.
I needed to push through him.
And then he can just. I don't know if it is enough though.
Yeah.
3.
It's just then you can get
What is
Spider
that?
attacks,
Red
so
Hood
it doesn't
3-5?
matter, I need to just push it.
It's
don't I?
a 6 something.
What
Hang
if-
on just a
yeah.
second. Let me see what his highest face
But how much
is.
damage do you have? Like you'd have 5. Your
It's
spot's
a
on is
5/5.
2.
I'm
sorry,
sorry.
2, right?
It's a
2, 3?
5/5 on its
Yeah,
highest face.
2-3. She's on her 5.
So he can pump his attackers to KO those two guys if he needs
Would have
to,
been
and
15
clear
damage. And I
Reggie's
probably would
field,
have ate it all.
and hope that he
And then
doesn't
hope I
re-roll.
rolled to kill you.
Alright,
Right?
we
And
go.
then
Let
he
me
has
have
those
the way
two
down.
question marks.
I mean, if
Hopefully
you
he
want,
can
I'll
ping
let you
something
push
out
it.
and
Blob
survive
too,
the
it's
next
fine. You
turn.
can reblock if you want. I don't mind.
Do you
Yeah, I
mind
gotcha.
doing that? 'Cause
That's his
I don't mind. It's all
last
fun.
hope.
All right.
I think because that you're going to push through probably your blob then, and he's
Yeah.
going to come through for ginormous damage. But that's 1,
And
2,
then
3,
here
4,
comes
5,
the
6,
sidekick,
7.
right?
So it's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You have 15 damage coming through. So I would then, in that case, I would not block you.
Okay. So that
That's,
put
as long as your Scarlet's a 5, your Spot's a 2, and your Blob's a 1, that's 8. And you can pump them to get you 15, I think.
So forgive the dead air there.
that's what I counted.
I don't know if he's.
Yeah. So it's
Oh, so he
15 you
meant
have?
to attack with the
Yeah.
blob originally, I
Yeah.
guess.
But then,
And
of
so
course,
he's
you
just
see, you're
trying to
going to
get
do that.
through.
Then I got turn. I got 7 right there with Red Hood and Dum Dum now.
Is Reggie gonna? It looks like he's gonna let
So
it
it would
through
be
because he
game
could
then,
take
so-
all the damage
That's
and
what I mean,
just
if you
swing
wanna
I
next
don't
turn,
think
right?
I have a choice, honestly, because
I think if you would have left Blob there, at least then you still could have for turns, and hopefully God
So-
would roll the next turn. But if you
2,
push
3,
I would
4,
just let it go
5,
through. Like, that's
6,
what you did.
7,
I'll let it
8,
go through
9, 10.
and take the 15.
Oh, Scarlet Witch is on its 133 side. I'm sorry.
Well, that's what I mean.
That's
When
the
you do
point.
that, of course I'm not going
Yeah.
to block
So
it.
they're talking
and then there's my
about
7 I'd
walking
have, plus
through
I'd
the
be able to roll
combat
next turn.
step
So,
here.
Reg,
So
let's
I
make it
and,
seem close. Let's make it seem close.
So
You want
Chris
to
is trying to
Go
go
ahead
out
and
in the
first.
most honorable way,
all right.
or
So then
admirable
that makes
way.
you look like your Blob. That's the most I think Blob has ever done for damage.
Yeah.
That's your
Reggie
blob.
commentating that
But that would
that's the
end it
most
for
he's
you,
ever
that's the
seen a
only-
blob
so-
deal damage is 8 damage.
So then
My
of course,
bag is empty.
plus I also would have fielded a
So,
sidekick on my.
So
Reg,
he
let's
took
through.
damage.
I mean,
And
you
then
technically
everything.
could
He's
have
down
blocked all of it.
to 8 life or
Yeah, I mean,
10
if I would have
life.
blocked it all, but then it would have gone to turns, and I'm more worried about Nobby. Like I
And
was waiting for you to
so
swing with it. and
Reggie's
say,
gonna
go
go
ahead
ahead
and
and
take over,
finish
so-
things off.
But I mean, I don't know what I would have rolled next
That's
turn.
it. I
mean,
feel like
let's see what I
Chris
would've
kind of gave
pulled
up there.
for shits and giggles.
Yeah.
Let's act like
Oh,
I did
4.
those two.
Yeah.
I guess he just Oh my gosh,
So I
that's
would have
a
had a
lot of dice.
sidekick.
Chris-
Is he
Reggie
Would have
going
rolled.
back?
Look at that, nothing would have came, but I would have had enough sidekicks even,
You would have had a shriek. So
and I would have had a shriek. But
Correct,
I
Ben.
still
There's
would've
nothing in his
had-
field anymore.
I could have bolted out your
He
because you can
swung
use
with
the
yeah,
unstable
it was a
canister
suicide
knock at
swing.
your spot.
I mean, lately we've been seeing a
and
very
probably would have rolled those.
humorous
they both
pattern
came up
of
too, but I couldn't
players
field them
going
both.
out on their own terms.
But I think I
which
still would have been
there's
able to
nothing
swing in
wrong
for
with
enough damage
that.
to kill you.
knocked out that.
The
Alright.
more
Yeah, if I would've knocked
entertaining
out, you would've
you can
blocked
be
this,
about it,
and my
the
biggest
more
is
people will talk
Tabaxi.
about it.
Yeah.
And then you would have came through for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
He's just calculating how much damage am I going to do to you?
I love that.
So I would have had 7 anyways. But
So 2 Tabashi
Yeah,
Rogues. I didn't
no,
realize he bought that other one.
I think
Oh yeah, I saw that
I think
earlier.
looking back at you had when you put Scarlet, but you took way too much damage with that Tabaxi.
So very
Yeah,
good
it's just-
games.
I take it up to
really-
I'm okay taking Tabaxi Rogue
Yeah,
down
Chris
up
is
to a
right.
certain
He did a
point,
couple of
so,
misplays,
yeah, you
but
dominated me, by the way.
I think really his
the
biggest
Tabaxi,
misplays
it's
were
one of those
deciding
cards
to
that
re-roll
I didn't know
certain
much about it
things
till
and
I
Yeah,
saw it
he
one
was.
game and I was like, wow,
not
that's a really powerful
choosing the
card.
safer
but
route.
It can get pinged out quick. And
I didn't have the
if-
bolts to ping it
What
out.
do you think, Robert?
Kim was out here in the video, she would know that
Yeah,
I always had
I
magic
think
missile
Chris was
every
on
time
tilt,
I
like Ben said in the chat.
That's why Tabaxi for me doesn't really help me because it
He
just pings
just-
out. But I
I
didn't
don't
get
know. I think
the
the
team
rolls
usually I have Mimic
mess
out
with
and it
him.
starts
I
going,
think he made some
but I
bad
thought you were
choices
gonna-
with the
I was
ramp,
waiting for you to shriek my
taking
Mimic,
all that
and I was
damage.
like- then you took out or you blobbed Spider-Man.
That is actually so
and
like
that's where I was
the
like,
biggest deal
I
here.
needed Spider-Man.
is
I was hoping that
normally
you would
we'd
have done
advise
something
doing
shriek,
that,
and then
but
I
that's
kind of
only if
sneaked
you're
in
that
this
much
direction.
closer to
But
the win con, and he
yeah, it's hard
wasn't.
to
He
sneak
wasn't
in with
anywhere
this
close
tournament,
because
so.
he didn't
Yeah,
purchase
I
the
mean, I
Nabi
knew that
beforehand.
Spider-Man was going to
True.
be a win con.
So
devastatingly
drawing
quick
8
with
and
as many
taking
sidekicks
8
as you
in
had.
that turn
He's the one
is
in, and then Red
potentially
Hood when I get him
hazardous.
out.
But if he had the Nabi,
I need to spin him up some because whenever I misdirect him, and he's only a 2/2,
would be able
he's not very
to-
strong.
he'd
But,
be able to
But yeah, no.
finish out the
When I saw you
game
start taking damage in the
after
back, I was like,
taking
all
8,
right,
and it
time to
wouldn't have
bring
been a
Boom
big
Boom
deal.
because he's my
Yep.
insect plague.
Tabashi did
He's in for
all
one
of the
damage
damage.
every turn.
No,
until you,
Tabashi did
'cause
everything
if you pick
except
him off, then
for
you're not
4
taking out
damage.
Tabaxi, right?
Yeah,
I probably
Yeah.
should have stayed with my other team. I think
that
I had
was
Mimic
nuts.
Well, you roll Devil Mask, and I'm kind of in trouble, right?
Well,
where I
Chris,
said
how do you
feel.
feel?
I mean, me and you talked about this before. We knew how it was gonna go before I even played it.
See, it's funny because you said you were gonna. Remember, I said to you, I was like, I think you're gonna kill me in this game, and then you were like the same. I think you got me, and I'm like, I don't know how. Like, I don't have the defense. Like, I wish I could put Shriek on my other team, and I don't know what this team's missing, but it's missing like a blob or something.
I mean, I think you're just all out assault is just I don't have an answer for it. I don't have enough answers on my team.
Yeah, like this team, I think there's what, three? There's three real win cons I have. Is Red Hood's one. I didn't even get Dum Dum out starting to pump and attack, but
I can't hear them.
But
I
yeah,
need more control on this team to really do anything.
yeah.
So, Reg, the thing that you're missing is in place of the Shriek would be the rare Billy Club to help you get that energy fixer out for your mask, since the majority of your team uses mask. And
Right.
you could reliably get your ramp going a lot faster as well.
And again, when I built my team, it was Billy Club is $14.99 online. So I said, you know, I can't include it because it's going to bring the cost up, right? Because I have the cost team. So.
Oh, that's right.
All right, I'm gonna end the stream here.
Oh yeah, for sure. If you guys can hang around and talk.
Great guy.
Thanks for
Great
watching,
guy.
guys. Thanks for hanging out.
I'm gonna do the outro real
Thanks
quick.
everybody
One moment.
for chilling and interacting in the chat.
Yeah, bear
We're
with
gonna
me
sit
one
around
moment.
chat, right? We'll
Yeah,
sit
yeah.
around.
One
Yeah.
moment.